In this lesson, we're going to talk about how to use the FTP task in SSIS. The FTP task uses the FTP connection. It can send and receive files. You can use it to create and delete files, and you can use it to create and delete directories via FTP. Here in Visual Studio, I'm going to drag out an FTP task. We'll right-click and go to Edit. On the first screen, we'll see the General node. Inside of General, we have the FTP connection information and the name and description. Under FTP connection, we click on the drop-down menu. The only choice we have is New Connection because we don't have an FTP connection on this package yet. I'll click on the drop-down menu and I'll select New Connection. Here we have the server name, port, credentials, a timeout, and we can check whether we'd like to use passive mode or not, the number of retries, and the chunk size in kilobytes. For this example, we're just going to put in the server name. I'm going to use ftp.microsoft.com, which is a free FTP site. And we can click Test Connection at the bottom, and it should say Test Connection Succeeded. Click OK, hit OK, and now I have a valid FTP connection. The next option is Stop on Failure. I can set this to true or false. I can change the name and description to be more descriptive of what my FTP task is doing. Under the File Transfer node, we click on Operations, and we have several operations that we can choose from. We can send files, receive files, we can create local directories or remote directories, we can remove local or remote directories, and we can delete local or remote files also. The next option is Transfer ASCII. This is asking, is the transfer an ASCII file? You can set that to true or false. Then we set the remote parameters. You can say, is remote path variable, and set it to true or false. And then your remote path can either be a variable or it can be a connection from the connection manager. Below this, we have overwrite files at destination. So in this case, when we're sending a file, we can overwrite the files that already exist in that destination if we set this to true. With our local parameters, we have the same options. Is local path variable, true or false? And then a local path. If we set is local path variable to true, then local path will be a variable and not a connection from the connection manager. To select a local path, we'll click on the drop-down menu, and you see we have the option of New Connection. I click on New Connection, and I can select a file from my local drive. If I change the is local path variable to true, click on the drop-down menu, select New Variable, I can create a variable. It would have to be a string variable, and this string variable would be the file name of where I'd like to set the local variable to. The same is true for remote path. If we set it to true, I get new variable as a choice. If I already have a string variable available, it will show below. If I set the is remote path variable to false, and I click on the ellipse, and now it shows me the remote path. This is Microsoft's FTP location, and I can select any of the files or folders in this location. In the Try It section of this lesson, we're going to create an FTP connection, and we're going to download a file from an FTP site. Here in Visual Studio, I have a blank package created called Lesson 12. I'm going to drag over an FTP task, right-click, and go to Edit. In FTP connection, I'm going to select New Connection. I'm going to connect to ftp.microsoft.com. And we'll click Test Connection. The test connection succeeded. We'll click OK. We'll leave everything else at default. Click OK. Go to my file transfer, and I'll change it to a received file instead of send file. My remote path, I'll click on the ellipse next to it, and this will show me all the folders in that location. I'm going to go to Software Library and click Index Text. So now I can receive the file index text from Microsoft's FTP location. For the local path, I'm going to click New Connection. I'm going to select an existing folder. In this case, it'll be C:/projects/SSIS personal trainer. Click OK. And now the FTP task should download the index.txt file and save it in the personal trainer folder. Click OK. I'll click the green arrow to debug. It turns yellow as it's attempting to connect, and it turns green indicating success. We'll navigate to that folder, and we'll see the index.txt file does exist in my folder now. In this lesson, we showed you how to connect using FTP, how to use an FTP task to send and receive files, and how it can create, delete, and move files and directories.